Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. I'm Dane Hennen, and to my right I've got Levi Gates.
Hey!
And my left I got Anthony Fisher.
What's going on, guys?
And this is main show number 43.
Nice.
For the TRC podcast. So, cruising along.
Yeah, we are. We're making good time. We don't always have to address
the
the number.
I feel
but,
I just want to give people
nice
a sense.
I want people to know that we've done 40. We've sat down at this table 43 times. Well, more than that, but 43 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Actually,
Realistically,
that's a true thing. That's probably the most consistent thing in our lives.
It's the only thing we do consistently on any of our social media, apart from a few giveaways.
Well, the towel guest giveaway is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Anthony's good about keeping that one on track.
Okay. People look forward to it.
Yeah, but we're going to kind of wing this episode because we've got a lot going on this week, and,
And the bosses are out of town, so...
They are.
Party, dude.
We're gonna...
Time to burn down the building.
Yeah.
What? I mean...
Man,
no, we promised them we weren't going to burn it down.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew I had to do something to burn down the building.
We sold them,
do or don't, and you failed.
Yeah. It was don't burn down the building, we said.
Okay.
Done.
That's a low bar, but...
Will do.
Yeah.
Will do. I mean, what... Okay, so anyways, we have a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
We have a very busy week. Let's talk about our weekends really quick before we jump into that. So, Levi, you did some stuff. You got some things. What'd you do?
I did lots of stuff.
You
so
did.
This was my first weekend home in the new house.
Yeah.
Memorial Day
So
weekend.
needless to say, I came home to a very large honeydew list of items that needed finished and done. But also, while I was in Puerto Rico, I was chomping at the bit to get home to change out fans and lights and
I can't wait to do that list.
Yeah, I seriously, it sounds weird, but it's I get a kick. I enjoy doing that stuff. So we did. I did some fans and some lights and things like that this weekend, and then we got a dog.
Yeah.
So
You got a dog.
We got a dog.
That's the thing.
It's a really cute dog.
He's really cute. So if you didn't see on our social media, on my Facebook page, we got a cool little Pembroke Welsh Corgi puppy.
Oh, okay.
We named him Watson. My wife wanted to name him Arthur, and then she couldn't decide between Arthur and Watson. So then she was like, I'll just call him Arthur Watson. And then every time she called him Arthur, she called him Augie, which is our son's name.
Oops.
And she's like, yeah, it's not going to work. So we're calling him Watson. I was like, all right, cool.
Nice.
But he's cute. He's great. Super chill, awesome little dog. He's 5 months old. I had a Corgi growing up, and they're spectacular dogs. Those and English Bulldogs are two of my favorite breeds.
Good dogs.
They're lazy, they're simple, they're easy to take care of, and
Low maintenance.
And what's great about Corgis is they're extremely smart, but fairly low energy. I mean, they're high energy dogs. They were herding dogs, but they're just good family dogs. And
so
so
small dog energy.
yeah. And they don't bark like a little dog.
No.
Which is cool. So I like that part about him. But again, super smart. But we found him online. There was a guy in Utah that had him and his wife, and they just didn't have the time for a puppy. And they already had an older dog. So we picked him up from them.
Nice.
My sister-in-law and nieces went and got him. And then the whole family down there drove up to bring the dog. And so it was pretty cool. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law drove up in my brother-in-law's GTR.
Ooh, nice.
And my nephew drove his sister's in his mom's car. And on the drive up, my niece had taught the dog to sit, shake, and lie down. So
all on the drive
up. They're extremely intelligent. And I
must
remember
be her calling.
Yeah,
or
well,
something.
and I remember my dad when I was little and we got our dog. My dad, that's all he talked about was how easy our dog was to train. And he's like, in 20 minutes, I had him trained to do 5 things, and it's been like that for the last 10 years. And so it was cool to see that she'd already had all that done, and then he got there. But they came up, so we had a house full of people. And my brother-in-law that night goes, we're going to go to the hotel. And they took his wife's car because he's like, I don't really trust the hotel parking lot. So he left the GTR in my driveway.
Oh, nice.
And then so Monday morning he called me and I was like, hey, I need to go to Best Buy if you want to roll with me. we can go to Best Buy. And he was like, well, why don't you just take my car and come pick me up? And I said, oh, well, don't mind if I do.
Oh, wow.
And so I hopped in it, went and picked him up at the hotel, which is just down the street from us. And then we drove that to Best Buy.
Well, what did you think?
Well, so my brother-in-law, when he bought it from an old man. And he said when he got it, it didn't sound like a GTR.
Uh-huh.
He said it sounded like an Altima.
Okay.
And so he said he's friends with Chad Menendez, the UFC fighter.
Okay.
And they had been talking, and he has a GTR. And my brother-in-law goes down and visits him and goes shooting and all that stuff. And he drove that, and he was like, this is what it's supposed to sound like. So he had contacted him and said, what all did you do to yours? So then my brother-in-law did all that to his. So it was like intake, exhaust, a couple different tunes.
The basic stuff you'd expect.
Some
to
Cobb
change
stuff. He lowered it. He did a couple things. So it burples.
Yeah.
The easiest way to describe it, it's a burple, 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 burple.
It's what you want when
it
you want an
rumbles.
aggressive car, though, where
and
you
it
got the...
sounds mean, and it shifts cool, and it's vicious. The car is...
Did you get on it? I mean, can you say that you did, or what?
I got on it, and then he got on it to show. He's like, get on it. And so we were on the freeway, and I got it up to 120, and I was like, I'm going to slow it down.
He means
and
55.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
120 kilometers.
Yeah. And then when we were driving back, my brother-in-law's like, have you ever done a launch in this thing? We were driving over to Lupo because he wanted to see that twin-turbo Lamborghini that they have. And he's like, have you ever done a launch in this? And I was like, no. I only drove it like 6 blocks. And he goes, we'll do a launch, but with we won't do launch control. I was like, all right. Yeah. And okay, that car's super quick and very powerful and hits you hard. So he's very into doing a Wash Wednesday on it.
Oh, very cool.
And he's like, I ain't scared. I'll take Anthony. I'll make him scream. So,
I'm scared.
Yeah. So he was really excited about it because he'd been watching some of them. And so he wanted to do some things with you.
Probably going to like the next one I'm working on.
Yeah. So then, but anyway, so we just spent the day doing that. Lupo obviously was closed, so we couldn't see the Lamborghini because it was in the window. You could see it. But
it's a Superleggera, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But
Super
anyway.
Biscotti.
Yeah. Super biscotti. And then I did home stuff all weekend, and it went by way too fast. But that puppy's really cute. He's already kenneled. We got him all kennel trained. Good stuff. So,
figured it all out.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice too because Carly would be able to stay home with the dog and get him all.
Oh, and they're going to be best friends. Like she bought him a seatbelt for the car and stuff like that.
Go places.
Yeah. So she's like, I took him to the store. Nobody sent. I'm like, oh no, like we're those people.
You're those people now.
He's like, well, I didn't want to leave him at home. Like he could stay at home.
I mean, I guess in Idaho people don't care as much.
No, but
it has a different connotation depending on where you're at.
Yeah. No, but he's cute, and the kids like him, and he's the right size right now. So he's little, so he's wee. But
nice.
Anyway,
yeah. So
you guys had an adventure this weekend, and you followed him on his adventure.
I basically knew what was going on, so I just decided to show up.
Gatecrasher.
Just show up uninvited.
Yeah,
that's how that goes. Although I felt pretty invited once I showed up because everybody was pretty cool.
And they were like, "Where's your Grom, Dane?"
I think they like my car.
Yeah.
They're like, it was really cold and windy, and can we ride back with you?
Actually, no.
Put the Grom in the trunk.
Basically, Anthony, take it away. Explain what happened.
So
we, if you don't know this, I have a Honda Grom. Yeah, I'm in an official bike.
He has a YouTube channel, by the way.
No,
All day Anthony.
Stop it, please.
Subscribe today.
Stop doing that.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
I hate when you do
he
this.
Doesn't like
All day
it,
Anthony.
He does reviews on Groms.
So I have a Grom, and it's my little pride and joy. It's a lot of fun. The way I see it is I have my big bike and I have my small bike, and I always tell people it's a lot more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. And the Grom is something that it's fun to commute on. It's great gas mileage. As long as you know you're going to look dorky, as long as you know it's not a crotch rocket, it's a blast. It's a total.
The Miata of bikes.
It's a fun bike. It really is. And so when they were first released back in 2013, they didn't really have a huge following just because they were super new and they're actually really hard to get a hold of. But over the last couple of years, Honda's done a really good job at getting a ton manufactured and getting a ton out on the streets, and so they're getting more and more popular. They're actually the second best-selling bike in the world.
I think there's some social media exposure that goes along with it too, because you see them pop up on
YouTube.
So
I mean, basically,
on all day Anthony's
for
YouTube channel.
a 300 motorcycle, I think the Kawasaki Ninja 300 is the best-selling motorcycle in the world. I think it's followed up by the Honda Grom.
Name recognition.
And that's everywhere. That's like in India, that's in Thailand, that's in all those other places. But so the Grom was something that was really cool, and we started building more of a Grom community here in Boise as of the last couple of years, and we have about 112 people in our local Grom group on Facebook, which is a ton.
Yeah, that is a lot if you think about it.
More than I thought were here.
For Boise, that's not bad.
Well, you think about it like in terms of like scooter clubs or actual like biker gangs, 125 screaming angry bees.
Yeah,
flying up the mountain,
just a swarm of
So we have a decent amount of people, but we ended up I did it myself. I created an event and I hosted it's called a Grom Crawl. And what we did is we rode up Bogus Basin, which is our local ski mountain here, and it's got some awesome little twisties and turns. And so we created the event. We had about 18 Groms at a max point. I think it went about around at 16 after a couple of people left, but not bad for like a last minute meetup. And so it was really, really cool. We had basically 16 Groms struggling to get up a mountain. We were hitting top speeds of 35, 40 miles an hour. And we get to the top, and Dane was up there. He drove his Volvo, so we met up with him.
I haven't driven up the mountain in the Volvo before, so that was fun getting the hang of that one.
It's a really fun mountain, and it's just funny because I ride that mountain all the time on my motorcycle, and it's one of those things where you're on a bike, you're doing twice over the speed limit sometimes. It's really dangerous. It's scary sometimes, and you'll always when you ride with other people, it becomes kind of like a competition. I don't know why, because it's like
it brings out the best and the worst.
I want to be faster than that guy, and so next thing you know, you're riding way too fast. It gets dangerous, and whereas the Groms are just innocent fun. I mean, everybody's going the same. Everybody's on the same 125cc motor, so we're all struggling to get up this mountain.
You can keep that thing cranked, and you're not
passing anybody. You're not flying by. You're going the speed limit the entire time, but it feels like you're really pushing it. So we had all these Groms flying up the mountain. We parked up at the top, and then we rode down, and the ride down was the most fun because basically at this point we just have
gravity. Just kick it into neutral and go.
Pulling us down. So we were hitting speeds definitely faster than we were going up. And a lot of us were a lot more trusting in those horrible tires than we probably should have been.
Tiny tires.
But it was
a very short wheelbase.
It was funny because we ended up getting closer towards the bottom of the mountain and going back on another little back road section. And we had all the Groms still. And we had such a tight group that, we were so close to each other that the joke was that if one of these guys were to fall, it would take us all out.
Just like the Tour de France when one of the cyclists
the peloton
up and then everybody's.
Yeah. We were all like
the peloton.
We were all tire on tire, but we were all on the same page, and it was just it was a lot of fun. So I did that over the weekend.
Did your girlfriend take hers up, or fiance take hers up?
She didn't have a Grom.
I thought she had one.
No, I wish she had a Grom. I tried to talk her into.
He's trying to talk everybody.
Oh, that's right.
I think everybody should buy a Grom, but no. So we did that, and then I also went and saw Deadpool 2, and it was funny. I liked it. I don't know if I liked it more than the first one. That's just my personal opinion, but it had some great jokes in it, and that was a lot of fun. And then for Memorial Day weekend, went over to my parents' house, had a barbecue. Played what's that called? Cornhole. Played some cornhole, hung out, had some food, and wrapped it up. It was kind of a busy weekend. There was a lot going on. Oh, and I went to a wedding. That's what I did. I'm like, there's something else I did.
He's been going to so many weddings.
You guys are like that age where people just start getting married, and so.
Well, it's weird. I'm actually past it. That happened for me like 5 years ago. Everybody was having one, and now it's kind of calmed down. But you're right in the midst of it.
Yeah, we're like the same age, Dane. I don't know.
Somehow, though, all my
circles that you guys run in.
Probably. So
half of them are already divorced, and
Dane's like, 60% of marriages end in divorce. I'm like, Dane,
but you'll do great.
Good luck. So I went to a wedding, and that was fun too. But yeah, that was it. So Dane, what'd you do?
Well, obviously, went up the mountain, had fun in the Volvo, which I got to experience the handling of that thing, which is better than I thought, because I thought, my Miata is super fun up and down the mountain, but the Volvo, it really gripped, like, despite having those rubber band tires and stuff. That was a lot of fun. And what I basically did was I drove up the mountain, went to the very top, and when I came back down, they had just gotten up to the top. So met them there, and then I stayed behind the whole group and kind of was the tail buffer, basically, to keep other cars from getting up too close behind him.
Yeah. Dane's a good tail buffer.
Whatever you want to make of that.
Our whole drive to Seattle, he kept a good safe distance.
He kept a great safe distance
because
behind me.
Levi drives very assertively.
I drive very quickly, and sometimes I create a very big gap that I sometimes want 5 or 7 or 10 cars behind me before
as
the
a very
tail buffer.
safe, very efficient, granny-like driver until going up the mountains, in which case I will
going
hang
up
with the best of them.
Yeah, Dane's a speed demon, but going down, he's the man you want.
I'm just very
behind you.
Very calm and collected.
Very conservative.
But,
guys,
he was the right person to have behind a bunch of Groms.
Sure.
That way
I don't want some truck going and running them all over, because there's a lot of people out
We
there.
also don't want Levi behind us, because at his rate, he's going to run into us with the launcher.
Oh, yeah.
High-performance machine.
You got to watch out when that two-step kicks in. I mean, it's just, it's all over. So
I think I've seen what happens. Look at his hood.
Yeah, in 06, a launcher took out a group of Groms. 16 people are in a hospital, dude, with this Elantra.
Pieces of Grom stuck in my grill.
So the rest of the weekend, let's see. I went and I saw the Solo movie.
Nice.
That was fun. You know what? I'd heard there were all the reshoots and everything. I was like, oh no, it might be kind of bad. But actually, you know what? It's one of the more fun ones out of the bunch. So if you're looking for just like a fun, adventure kind of heist little flick, that's a good one.
Nice.
Not my favorite, but at the same time, I'd still put it up there. Like, it was way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So fun. But, what else? I did a lot of yard work. I haven't done yard work in a while. I was pulling weeds. I was doing all that stuff. That was my Memorial Day, essentially.
Nice.
Was actually
cleaning up the property.
Place, pressure washing the front of the house, all that stuff. Because I have vinyl siding. So So
very grown up of you.
Yeah.
Did you power clean it or foam power clean it?
I had a little bit of stuff and I mix it in there and I tried to clean it up, but overall it was mostly just water. I mean, a lot of it was just like you get the cobwebs and random stuff that collect in your like entryway kind of area, and you just get rid of that. It looks nicer though. It makes a dramatic difference if you just pick up the basic stuff.
Dane actually has a backyard that's all. I mean, pretty. Your parents helped you design it, and you guys laid rock down. You guys did a bunch of cool
it's
stuff.
Actually pretty nice underneath the stuff that I let grow over it. But yes,
looks kind of like
it's actually really nice. And we all worked together and like built
dystopian world or something like that back there. It's like,
not that bad.
It's like Mad
some tall grass here and there.
There's a used car back there.
When I bought the house, it was actually just a giant sand patch. Is what it was. Like there was a little concrete patio in the back, and then it was mostly just like random mud and grass behind the back door. But then as you go around, it kind of opens up, and they clearly had like a big above ground pool. But the joke is always wherever a pool was, everything is dead underneath.
Yeah.
So it was just a giant sandy circle, but it was huge. Like whatever pool they had must have been massive. And that's behind the garage. So now we kind of built it out so it's like a fire pit and stuff. It's nice.
Hey.
But
my backyard is just grass, and I'm thankful for that. It's just a grass.
Yeah, I want something a little lower maintenance. I'm not gonna lie.
That's it. Like I don't have any flowers or plants or anything.
Because my dad's a real green thumb.
Oh, your dad's
I'm
awesome.
not.
Yeah, you're more of a black thumb.
What's that mean?
It means you like working on cars.
Oh, okay.
But what's a brown thumb mean? Anyways, continuing on.
But all I was going to say was the only thing I don't like about the new puppy is poop in the yard.
I mean, you got to deal with that.
Better than poop in the house, though.
It's better than poop in the house. I've got little kids, and I know that job's going to fall onto me.
Yeah, you're going to tell them to do it, and it's not going to
Well, I'm not going to tell them to do that now. They're little. I'm not that.
Are you kidding me?
Would walk in.
I was like
They're
4
at the
years
right
old when my
age.
dad was
when I was
making me
cleaning up
picking up
after the
weeds
dog.
and picking up poop.
Yeah.
I was going to say, they got it easy these
I was
days.
actually hauling wood at that age.
They gave Dane a spear and put him out in the forest and said, "Go kill."
We had a house.
Dane grew up in
him.
Sequim, Washington.
Which
is like the forest.
We were in a forest next to the ocean, and that was
Dane's
one of
you
my
ever
jobs.
see the movie 300? He's like, that was my childhood. Going out there,
there were mountain lions, not
fighting a
wolves, but still,
The spear.
This is a detailing podcast. I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah.
So
anyway, so that was our weekend.
Good weekend, fun weekend. We hope you guys had a great weekend. We had a big Memorial Day sale this weekend.
Yeah.
Looked like a few people took advantage.
Pretty crazy, busy weekend for us here at the store. Also, if you weren't paying attention, on Monday, we did a special little bonus that if you were buying on Monday, you placed your orders on Monday, according to our Instagram page, we were giving out American flag rag company stickers.
We were, yeah, so we did.
So those of you that bought on Memorial Day, it's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Some people really wanted to buy them, and it's like, no, these are special occasions.
Yeah, so this is, we're going to be doing that throughout the year, just random.
Yeah.
We're not going to be alerting you, so it's going to be kind of, it'll be
Although
something
you can take
fun.
a wild guess, 4th of July will probably be.
We might.
We're not committing to it, but
I learned
but the
something.
goal with these is that we wanted to create limited edition stuff, like limited edition stickers for our customers that just make it fun, something different, something that, because you can always get a blue rag company sticker from us anytime. You can either put it in your cart, there's a coupon code for it for free. There's
one.
you can buy one, you can do whatever. But this was, sometimes I'll randomly just go through on a day and throw in stickers on for like 5 minutes. If I'm downstairs and they're doing orders, those 10 orders that are going out, I'll throw in some stickers or, we'll do random like giveaway stuff like that. But this was something unique. Yeah. This is something that we have been working on different designs for this purpose. So thank you to everybody who did place your orders then.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to those of you that didn't. That's just the rules. So,
you got to accept
you're going to
that
have to
sometimes
wait next time.
There's going to be a random freebie here or there, and it's just how it works.
Yep.
It's not that, if you don't get it, it's not that you are getting a lesser thing.
Yeah.
It's just the other people happen to get a bonus.
Yeah, that's
the way to look at it. You're not missing out.
So before anybody starts complaining that they didn't get one, like it's the luck of the draw, guys. You can say that about not winning the lottery too.
Yeah, but you don't have to buy a ticket to win this lottery.
This, you just place in an order and, hey, look at that. We're throwing stuff in.
Yeah.
So.
So we have that going on, and it's been a great success. And so coming up, we'll have another towel guest giveaway this week, which will be pretty cool. And then on Thursday, we have a special guest coming
We do.
in.
Dylan Von Kleist is flying in from Rupes from Colorado.
I know that guy.
Yeah. The DVK.
What a weirdo.
So he's showing up, and
the beard.
He's going to be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday flying back home. But Saturday, June 2nd, we're doing an event here from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. Here at the Rag Company. You can come in and play with polishers and all that stuff, everything Rupes. We will have in-house.
Even their new air tools.
We will have some of the new air tools. So if you haven't tried one of them yet and you've always wanted to, you can test one out, play with one. So we're really excited to have them here. And then Thursday we'll do a couple podcasts in the studio with Dylan, or Thursday and Saturday. And then Friday we're going to be shooting a whole bunch of new content for the YouTube channel for you guys so that you can, enjoy
Obviously,
it.
there will be some detox, but we want to do some other stuff too.
Yeah,
Because we noticed you guys like that, like the pad priming video, or just a demonstration on that super thrash truck, like showing kind of how you could fix even something super terrible.
Well, and we'll probably touch on the melee and do some stuff with that. Hopefully, we'll have some rotaries. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see what comes in the box of stuff that
we'll
we're
have some
getting.
junkyard hoods to play
But we've got our
with,
junkyard hoods. We can play with some things. We can do some stuff. We can play around with the tools and get some seat time behind them again. So that'll be a blast. And then in 2 weeks, we are headed down to Detailer's Domain for their big open house.
Yep.
So all our friends on the East Coast, those of you that are listening, come see us. We're going to be at Detailer's Domain. I think Friday's the class, or Saturday's the class, and Sunday's the open house, or vice versa. Saturday's the open house, Friday's the class. Friday is a paid class. Saturday is free. You can come in and hang out with us and see us.
There'll be a lot of people there, and Dylan will be there too.
Dylan will be there. Rupes with Jeremy Harding and some of the other guys are going to be there. And then Larry Casella from Ammo NYC will be there. We'll be there. I think Andy Ward and Jason Kilmer of KXK are going to be there as well. So we're going to have a fun kind of open house thing. Come hang out with us. Come say hi. If everybody tells us, hey, you need to come out. So we're going back east.
So we'll be there at that time. So
yeah. But we're going to have some fun with that. It'll be a good time as well. So cool. Super excited. We're really excited to have Dylan here. If you guys have any things that you'd like to see, maybe leave some comments for videos
leave
and
a comment.
Podcast topics and things like that you guys want. Leave some comments below on this one so we'll pull from it, take a look at it.
Or like even a video you want to see, like the pad prime it, but maybe something else that you wanted to see, maybe on a new tool or something. Just get that out there.
Something cool. So that'll be fun. We've got a new air compressor.
That's right. That's a big one.
So we'll be able to do a little more air-related stuff, which is perfect for when we get ready to do the interior videos with the Volvo. So we'll be able to. I'll show you guys how to use air.
By the way,
to clean and things like that.
People really seem to be liking.
Yeah, that's been crazy. That has been going off the hook.
People really enjoying those, and hey, I enjoy the free publicity for my car, so and the free detail. But at the same time,
it's
I'm
like the world's
camera.
longest detail.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, guys, gonna spoiler alert, we don't do it all at once. These things get broken up, but we have kind of a list of the different things that need to get done, and we're making that happen. Next up, though, is the engine bay detail.
Yeah, and we're doing the engine bay tomorrow.
Yep.
And then once that's done. Then we can basically get started. And it times it perfectly because we've got our Rupes tools. We've got...
I wonder if I can co-op Dylan into helping you guys.
Well, you never know. No, he
won't do anything for free.
You're going to have to pay him something.
You're going to have to buy him shots of whiskey or something.
Drinks or something,
buy him dinner.
Tacos, street tacos.
It would just be a fun little guest spot on the video.
But that'll be fun. So then we can get into the real nitty gritty with the paint correction on it, because that car is going to look awesome.
Yeah,
it's bright red and it's going to look amazing when we're done with it. So
because the car looks good, but frankly, it's a swirly mess right now.
Yeah, and once we get a coating on there and top it with some bead maker, that thing's going to be looking.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty awesome.
It's going to be looking pretty good.
Which coating are we using? I thought we were using
we are using Inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be using
I'm excited for that.
which is a 9H coating.
It's some hard stuff.
It's basically a wipe on, wipe off. It is some hard stuff, and so
you've got it on your Civic. How are you liking the experience of it so far?
I am amazed at the fact that I have washed that car once in the past, whatever it was. It's been 3 weeks,
3 weeks,
3 weeks since I put it on there, and it gets hit every single day with my sprinklers, and this is all honest stuff. I mean.
You put it on your own daily driver. So,
but the thing is we're at my house. Whether I park it in my front yard, my grass is right there.
Just in the middle of your yard.
It's gonna hit sprinkler there, and then if I pull it in my driveway, I get hit by a sprinkler there. So no matter what,
you can't win.
It's getting hit by a sprinkler unless it's in the garage. So I figured this is the best way to really test it and really put it through the ringer. And I'm amazed at the fact that I don't have any water spots. My water hardness is 250 to 280 parts per mineral. So
so you had a measure.
We've got a high mineral content.
So it's decently high. Some places will have up to 500, which is really crazy. But ours is still pretty hard. Yeah. And it's been hitting it every single day. The sun dries it, and I go out and look at it. I'm like, oh, here's the day I have water spots. And I look and I say, nope, not there. All right, we'll check again tomorrow. Man. So it's been almost 3 weeks, and I've yet to see any water spots. The slickness of Bead Maker is still there. Every time I touch my car, even with light dust on it, my hand slides off of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you almost feel like you're scratching it, but you want to rub it because it's so slippery.
Yeah.
Well, in real world application, people are always curious how long this stuff really lasts. They go, the bottle says that, but how long does it actually last?
Well, and that's what. So when we talked to Dave, who's the chemist at PNS, Dave Phillips, he said Inspiration with proper care and Bead Maker as a topper will last 2 to 3 years. And he's fairly sure it'll last more than 3 years just based on the levels that it's creating. Bead Maker's kind of the key to that because of the hardening agent in Bead Maker.
Okay.
So it does create, in terms of almost like a shell on top of the coating.
Okay.
And that shell hardens the coating more and more to a certain extent. And so the more Bead Maker on the surface is basically like with every wash, just allows the coating to become, perform the best.
Drying aid or used by itself separately after the car's dry?
I think either or. It is. I mean, as long as you're consistently, topping it off, and that's the thing with me with Bead Maker. I joke around. I tell people that customers, I'm like, I think P&S should charge more for this stuff because it's so good. Shh, I know, quiet.
It smells so good.
It's great. A little goes a long way, but I mean, the thing is because of the price, you can get a gallon for a decent price. That I feel okay, liberally using it. I'm okay, spraying a decent amount on, and it smells awesome. It feels super smooth. It makes the drying process better because can be used as a drying aid. And it just has this instant gloss, right when it goes on there, and then once it cures, it's even glossier and
slippery. Like I've never felt
super slick.
I've honestly never felt anything this slippery before on the surface of a vehicle, and I've put a lot of different stuff on different cars over the years.
I mean, you've had the time to try.
I've never felt anything this slick.
It's pretty nutty.
I had to laugh because over the weekend, I no joke, had 3 different customers who happened to be friends with me over Facebook, and they all messaged me, totally unprompted, Bead Maker's no joke, or something to that effect. And they just send a picture of them using Bead Maker, and it's like, I didn't ask them for any pictures or anything.
Yeah, no, me
too. They
too.
Sent it, and it's like, oh my God, this stuff.
No, I had people also texting, sending messages going, I wish I knew what was in it because it's so amazing. So one thing we can tell you guys that it's a spray sealant or paint protectant, but it's not like an SiO2 infused.
Right, because I know most people's first
typical
instinct would be to think that.
Yeah, it's not, but it has the same, what do you say, like characteristics of it?
Has the same characteristics, but without actually having it.
But without actually,
so it still has polymers in there. It still has a hardening agent in there. He said he had a word for the polymers that he used, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was it acts like an SiO2 topper, but without having that in there. And what it does is it does bond. It actively bonds to the clear coat by itself.
It does permeate the clear coat and actively bond or cross-link with the molecules in the clear coat. Yep. So it does do similar to OptiSeal in the sense that it does mitigate and cross-link. And then there was, it does have UV protection as well. So that's really cool. And then there was basically the like-minded polymers in the ceramic coatings are almost the same as what's in Bead Maker. And so those like-minded polymers then connect to each other and create a stronger bond.
To where it does, so it's able to top. It's able to be a topper without
and a topper amongst a number of different coatings.
Yeah.
So it has a genuine improving effect versus something that might just get shed off.
Yeah. And it's basically, they were saying like they tested it against all other types of coatings, and it is safe for all other coatings as a topper. Now, I will say that if you are installing a warranted coating, you should probably continue to use the warranted products, mostly so you don't void the warranty.
Yeah.
But for those of us that are doing it at home and you're using like a 2-year product, let's just say gloss coat.
Yeah.
You coat the car with gloss coat. You are more than welcome to coat it with Bead Maker.
Yeah.
Because gloss coat doesn't have a warranty.
And it's not like it needs a professional installation. And all
right.
that stuff.
Exactly.
It's stuff you could do yourself.
Yeah. So feel free to top gloss coat with Bead Maker. Like, you're more welcome to. That's not a problem. I think
that's where a lot of people are going with it if they don't already have like inspiration or something and they like gloss coat. Keep using gloss coat. You can use the Bead Maker.
Yeah, or if you're using any other type of 2-year coating that doesn't carry that warranty, top it with Bead Maker. They have, we've got to find it, but P&S has told us that they've had it tested by another lab basically that can show the scientific findings of what it does to a clear coat. And they were doing testing and stuff. It's pretty spectacular.
So they actually have the studies to
back
it up.
And Bob was showing me and telling me about it, and it's just a matter of me getting it and us posting it on our rag company page under the listing. So
there's always those people who are like, that sounds nice and all, but let me see the hard data.
Yeah, so here's the hard data. Anthony and I were using it, and we were telling him it just feels like this, and it does this, and he was like, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
That's what it does. And we were like, cool. And then he goes, funny story. Here's the backup to show you guys that this is what it... And I was like, oh,
but it's
awesome.
good to know, because I know some people do get hung up on the SiO2.
A lot of people do. They're like, does it have it? Does it need it? Do I need to put it on? Like,
it has the characteristics, but it's not.
Yeah. Which makes it nice for those of you that just... There's a lot of people that don't like SiO2s, don't like using them, don't like dealing with them. So Beadmaker doesn't technically have it. So feel free to put it on your surface of your car and let it get slippery.
Well, I think a lot of people get freaked out by the whole bonding into a towel type of thing.
That too,
because people get worried that there's going to be some type of cross contamination. Because I guess the theory is that
you seal your car, you seal the towel.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, basically when you're wiping a car, when you're leveling a coating, that coating is going into that towel. And if you've ever felt a towel after you've done an SiO2 coating, you're going to feel that towel is very crusty and hard.
Does not feel great.
You're going to see that the applicator is hard and crusty. And the idea is that once those begin to crystallize and that coating begins to crystallize inside that towel, if you were to wash it with another towel, then technically you're getting these micro abrasives from these crystals that are going to go onto other towels, and that could cause some type of micro marring or scratching or something like that. And that is concerning to some people. We typically tell people, like, if you're using HyperSeal, for example, and you're worried about that, or using any other ceramic boosted protectant, then you would basically throw it into like a bucket of water, or throw it into a bucket of O&R right after you're done using it.
Or a little power clean or something in there.
Spray something on there.
Keeps it from curing.
Or have it go directly into wash to keep it from curing, because basically all coatings, all SiO2-based coatings and additional sprays do have a cure time, and so it takes a while for those to actually bond and harden. Like if you were to have an applicator right after you're done using it, it's still going to be moist and soft, but if you left it sit for 2 days, it's going to crust over and be gross.
The problem is there's a lot of people out there who, and not calling anyone lazy, but they don't do it right off the bat.
Right.
So their towels aside.
Taking an extra second to just set up this, wet bucket,
just set up,
whatever,
just set up a bucket. When you're getting your towel set up to take off the coating or apply the coating, get a bucket of water and throw a little power clean in it or O&R or something, just to give it something that isn't going to allow it to work.
And you'll sleep a little easier.
Yeah. Well, and you can reuse the towels for interiors, wheels, tires, dirty stuff that you want a used towel for.
Because, you pay good money for your towels and stuff.
Might as well keep getting your use out of them.
You want to keep it.
Yeah. So it really cool product. We're excited. I'm super excited to put it on your car, because I put it on my red Camry. You put it on your red Civic. We put it on that red hood.
Put on everything red.
Oh my gosh, it's just amazing.
The streets, man, with the red.
Yeah, it's amazing on red. And so I'm super excited to put it on that Volvo, because it'll just look amazing.
Yeah, and for people that are wondering, do I buy the pint size? Do I buy the gallon? I'll tell you right now, save yourself some time and shipping. Just buy the gallon.
Yeah.
Just pick up the gallon, because you're gonna go through the pint and say, "Wow, I wish I would have picked up more of that."
Yeah.
Or maybe buy the pint and the gallon, so you can get the cool little spray bottle and you can feel. Like,
I'm not challenging anybody, but I've yet to hear anybody be anything less than over. It's enthralled at the experience.
It's an underrated product, and people are always overwhelmed when they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
Terminator works amazing on pet stains.
We've been testing it out this weekend. We've already been using this, but but now you have a reason to use it.
Right, but now I need to. So I used it on when my cat peed on the floor, but it worked amazing. For those who don't know,
cat pee is about the worst.
I made it. It was perfect. It took it out. Then my cat threw up on our carpet, so I cleaned it. He's just giving
me all kinds of work.
He's a little pissed off. He's been in a new house for like 3 weeks, and then we bring a dog in.
Yeah, he's like, "What is this, guys?"
There's a bunch of.
Is this how you break up with me? Is this how you do it? You bring the other person to live in the same house?
Your floor.
Wait, how old is he?
Well, he's like 10 or 11.
Okay, he's getting up there.
He's an old cat.
Up there, okay.
Then again, I know a lot of cats that have lived.
Oh, they'll live to
nearly
like 20.
18, 20. Yeah. So.
He's one of those dudes. He's gonna live forever. But anyway, with the new puppy, the people we bought it from gave us some little like pet cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, get this garbage out of here. I don't need this. And then I picked up my Terminator bottle because I used it
You're like hostile of
Yeah, I put it on some spots. I put it on some spots in the old house, like on the stairs, just to kind of clean them up. And then the neighbors or the new owners were like, "Oh, we're going to rip out all the carpet." I'm like, "This is like brand new carpet," and they're like, "It doesn't matter. We're going to tear it all." I was like, "Okay." So I used
so much money on that.
I spent so much money.
Right.
But cool, thanks. But anyway, I had sprayed Terminator on that and just brushed it and cleaned up the carpet really well. Mm-hmm. Well, with getting the new dog, today I need to buy myself a gallon of Terminator just to have on hand.
Yeah.
Because it works. And
it does. Yeah.
It smells really good.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Sorry, I had to burp there. But yeah, it smells really good. And again, because it's an enzyme, it breaks up that protein.
Yeah.
And so it goes in and it breaks that whatever causes the smell or the stain or the discoloration or any of that kind of stuff. So pretty cool product to have. So not only is it for detailing, you can use it at home. So pick some up and then, your spouse won't be mad.
Share it with the wife or the girlfriend.
Or the mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, whatever.
Yeah. Use this.
Tell your friends. Put it in your own unlabeled bottle and say, "Hey guys, this is the good stuff. This is the magic stuff," and have your family thinking you've created something amazing or something, and then take credit for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I know it from personal experience, but anyway,
Anthony's a secret con artist.
No, but I did bring my brother-in-law down here to buy some wash stuff for himself. So he bought Bead Maker, he bought some Pearl, and he bought some O&R.
Oh, good stuff.
And then he bought some towels and some stuff, a bucket and grid card and stuff like that.
Load it up to keep the GTR
wash
clean.
mitt so he can start washing. Because he sold his car wash.
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't the type of car you take through an automatic wash. So
I'm glad you know that.
I said, that's right. Nice.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Coming from somebody who owned one, so
yeah. No, I did. I actually helped my brother on, I believe it was on Friday night or Saturday. I helped my brother do a deep clean on his motorcycle. So my brother just bought a new bike, or his first bike, and he took after my footsteps. Bought a Suzuki SV650.
Nice.
A second gen.
Good
I was super pumped for him.
Really good bike.
Awesome. I tell people it's like the best starter bike for somebody that is coordinated. If you're already coordinated and you know what a motorcycle does and is, then an SV650 is a good place to start. But if you're really new to motorcycles, I tell people to go start on the dirt bike or a little pit bike or something that you
something
can
not heavy.
Something that's not overwhelming. But he picked up this bike. It was in awesome shape. He got a really good deal on it. I tell people that those are the best bikes to start out on because they're really cheap and they're cheap to insure. Parts are dime a dozen. And they're just great bikes. They
sound great. They look good.
They sound like they will, because they're a V-twin. They sound like a Ducati, and everybody wonders. They say, "Is that a Ducati?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's a Suzuki." But you know what? Hey, whatever. Same thing. So same but different. But so he brought it over to the house, and with motorcycles, I see this a lot. People with motorcycle maintenance, motorcycle care, especially people when it comes to cleaning, get super lazy. I know a lot of bikers out there that just don't clean their chain. They don't.
They literally take a towel, wipe their tank, and they're done.
Yeah, and that's like the extent that most people will go to. They'll wipe down, maybe just the plastics on the outside. They'll clean the bugs off the front of it, but for the most part, they'll never get the wheels. They'll never get the chain. They'll never get between all the engine work and things like that. And
they dress the armor all over the tires.
Yeah, they put armor on. No, just don't do that. Don't put hot shine on those tires. But so he brought it over.
Pretty sweet though. Tires are shiny. Looks pretty good.
He's like, they look brand new. Yeah, that's
probably not a good idea, bud.
So he brought it over. We put it up on the stand, and the previous owner he never cleaned the chain, and the bike only has 5,000 miles on it, so it's still a relatively new chain and sprocket. But what we ended up having to do is use like a DuPont degreaser and then spray down all of that because believe it or not, when it comes to motorcycle chain lubricant. Normal degreaser, like an all-purpose cleaner, is not going to remove that stuff. It's hard to get off, so you have to use like a motorcycle based degreaser. So we use that to grease the chain, hit the rear wheel where there had been chain splatter on the rear wheel, and then hit all of the underside where the rear shock was and where the rear sets were. And I told my brother, I said, hey, if you do this once, you do it right, and you keep up on this every time, this is going to be easy from here on out, because it was just really gunked up. If you remove the front sprocket cover, there's just all this sand and road grime, and I mean, it's built up to where you could put your finger in and pick up a giant chunk of it. It's like a wax, and it's disgusting. So he spent about an hour, picking at it. I gave him toothpicks, I gave him little brushes, and I said, all right, I'm going to let you do the work. I'm going to go cook a burger on the grill. I'll be back here in 20 minutes to check on you. But he did a good job. What we ended up doing after that is we power cleaned the whole bike, diluted 10-to-1 IK foamer, and then followed up with a 1-bucket method with no rinse. And so we wiped everything down with no rinse, and that's after we finished that up, we relubed his chain, let that cure and dry properly, because typically with like a chain wax, especially something in a can, like an aerosol spray, it takes about 30 minutes to fully cure and dry and harden. So you don't want to go riding before that. So after we finished that up, touched it up with some wax, grabbed some Optimum spray wax, sprayed down everything but the seat. Bike looks absolutely awesome. I would almost say the tank is a little bit too slippery. It's kind of dangerous. We're gonna have to get him some.
Well, that's why he didn't spray the seat.
Some
didn't
tank,
put any bead maker on the tank.
Some tank grips. Yeah, well, I didn't actually have any bead maker with me. I used all of my other bead maker that I had on the Civic, so I need to pick up some more myself, and I will be buying a gallon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we used some Optimum car wax. Still looks awesome. Bike looks good. Feels good. It's just nice because he hasn't cleaned it. It's brand new to him. And once you actually clean something and detail it, it finally feels like yours.
Right, yeah.
And you get to know it a little bit more. So it was cool. I'm one of those people, I like teaching people the right way to do it. Because I think it's like kind of like riding a bike. Like once they know, they'll never forget, but they'll either choose to do it or not do it.
Yeah.
So just as long as they have the information, I'm happy.
Well, at least he knows what a clean bike is now.
Yeah,
you know.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, you do this clean this chain every 500 miles like this, throw it up in the rear stand, and you don't have to make the big mess like we did. You don't have to do a whole bike wash. You could just do the chain cleaning and keep it pretty concentrated. So I showed him a trick where you, and you can do this with a normal bicycle as well, where you take a piece of cardboard and wedge it back behind the chain so you're not getting overspray. So you just basically spray the chain and you get the runoff onto the cardboard down into, I grab an oil catch can, or like a big, I can afford an oil change, and I put that below, so all of that runoff drips into that pan, and then I just wipe that out when I'm done. So pretty easy. But motorcycle detailing, I don't know how many people do it out there. I know a lot of people in shops typically won't take on bikes.
I don't know if you knew this, Anthony, but I am currently
buying a motorcycle.
No,
the Grom.
No, I'm the chair for the motorcycle certification for the IDA. We are currently creating the test.
I think that should be your job.
Creating the test. Well,
I can give him some pointers.
Yeah.
I can tell him what the parts are.
Anthony doesn't know this. He's going to be helping me a lot with this. So we're basically designing the test.
Just found out.
Yeah, but we're designing the test so that detailers can then certify with the motorcycles, like detailing certification to add to their list of certifications. We're doing a marine certification. We're doing motorcycles. Marine will also, I think, include RV.
I'm sure aircraft is kind of
it's going to be kind of its own thing. But we wanted to create different versions because right now, if you're in the IDA, you can get a certified detailer, take the test, and do all that, and then you get skills validation. So we kind of wanted to do the same thing for all these different subgenres of detailing.
Makes sense.
In the sense, so that way, you learn the proper techniques, because there are a lot of detailers that just don't know anything different. Recently I was talking to a detailer who wanted to coat a boat.
Coat a boat.
Wanted to coat a boat.
Boat a coat.
And
coat a boat.
Boat coatings are different.
Boating coatings, you mean?
Boating coatings are different from automotive coatings.
Yeah.
Because of the material that the boat is made out of. Mm-hmm. It's mostly gel coat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or it's stainless, or there's certain differences. So you can't just use a typical regular coating that you've already been selling to the one cut. You're like, I'm going to do this, and it's not going to bond. If you put it on there, one, it may not bond. Mm-hmm. Two, if you read the warranty instructions, you can't sell it anyway. But you can sell it to them, but you can't sell them the warranty.
No.
Yeah.
So it does you no good.
Which is a big selling point for a lot of people.
Right.
So
those are things to look at. And a lot of guys a lot of detailers don't know that. And one had called me and it was like, I'm going to do this. Is that okay? I'm like, well, no, it's not. Because people won't cover that. It's not going to, you can't sell that to a customer because it isn't going to be warranted. It isn't going to have this feature. It's not going to be able to do this. And it may fall off in 6 months because gel coat's very porous. So you're already creating a very porous substructure that you're going to try and lay coating on instead of being a very flat, nice, interlocked structure. So same thing with like the joke I was making about dressing tires on your motorcycle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, and how you said we cleaned and protected everything except for the seat.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that detailers don't always understand. Well, that can translate.
You end up with the assumption
areas.
that if I know how to clean this one thing, I know how to clean everything.
Right. Yeah.
And you go based on the experience you have with that one thing, and you just apply it to everything else, and you maybe don't know the intricacies of, say, a boat or an RV or a motorcycle.
Or like you've got a motorcycle that someone dropped over. A motorcycle that someone dropped off.
A jet ski.
Motorcycle.
But they drop off a motorcycle, and you take your pressure washer out and your degreaser, and you start degreasing the bike down, and you pressure wash it, and you strip all the oils off the chain, you get everything cleaned off, and then you give the bike back to them.
Yeah.
And if you're not a biker, you don't know that's a bad idea.
No,
right.
And that's something that you can't do. I mean, when you give back a chain like that, I mean, because the thing is if a lot of the times, like I said before, a lot of motorcyclists, they don't do proper maintenance on their bike in the first place, and they count on a lot of times taking it to a mechanic, right? Especially a lot of these older guys. And I mean, whether it's a belt driven or a chain driven, same thing. But I mean, a chain has to have lubrication. It has to have lubrication on it. So if somebody had let's just say, taken their bike to a shop, got a full maintenance on it, and they're like, okay, maintenance-wise, I'm good, and then they take it to a detailer, and they strip all the wax on, they're like, well, don't have to go back to my shop for another, 2,000 miles or something.
And they're running a chain with no lube.
And they're running a chain with no lube. The chain's going to get, not only is the chain going to rust over, they're going to kill their O-rings on it, and could have anything lock up. The chain could break. There's a lot of different scenarios there.
Spoiler alert on 2 wheels. That's scary.
And then their detailer puts silicone tire dressing all over the tires to make it look nice, because that's what they do on a car all day. Mm-hmm. So got to dress the tires, make it look good.
Yeah.
And they're riding a slippery bike with no dressing, or no wax on the chain.
Immediately your butt just off the seat.
Well, and I guarantee you it's happened.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of little things that go into it that a lot of guys just don't know. And so that's kind of the goal of these different committees that we're working on, is to create these basic skills.
You might save a life.
Well, yeah, but it's also going to make you a better. It'll make you a better detailer, because I guarantee you, the detailer that didn't know that about boats, he knows how to clean a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and he can clean it very well, and he knows all the stuff because he rides motorcycles. Mm-hmm. So the motorcycle detailer knows how to do a motorcycle, but doesn't know how to do a boat. And the boat detailer that's amazing and phenomenal at a boat doesn't always like working on cars.
Yeah. So that versatility goes a long way. If you can
and I've got a friend who's a premium boat detailer. That's what he does. That's all he works on, is boats all day long.
Yeah,
and he loves working on boats because that's what he knows, and he knows the substrate, he knows the products, and but you put him on a car, and he's like, don't want to climb in someone's car and clean their interior. That's just not fun, you know? So, and then there are other detailers that love doing RVs. It's big, huge flat panels to polish, So, so basically that's one of the goals, in our, because I sit on the certification committee. I'm the co-chair for the IDA on the certification committee, and that's one of the things we're working on. So that way detailers can be well-versed in a number of different situations, so to speak. So,
Absolutely.
Pretty awesome stuff, but
Yeah.
No,
I
all
try
good
to
stuff to know.
I try to tell people too that, I mean, when it comes to motorcycle detailing, I mean, if once you learn and once you know how to do it properly, there can be a lot of money into it or in it, you know, to get out of it. But there's so many scenarios where a lot of people that ride don't realize that certain things can get fixed. Like, for example, if somebody were to have like a garage spill and they were to, let's just say, drop their bike, and you know, they get a couple scuffs on the fairings or something, you know, to most people they'd say, oh, dang it, you know, I got to order all new fairings, right? If a detailer could come out there with a polisher, get those scratches out or get something like that out, that would save them hundreds, because typically you can't just replace one fairing, you know, from the factory, and if you do, it's going to be, you know, $300, $400, and then some people will say, well, I'll just buy a whole new set from China or something like that, and they'll spend $600 for a pair of knockoffs, where really it just needed a detailer to come out there, spend an hour, $50, polish out that panel, clean up the rest of the bike really quick, you know, wipe everything down and say, okay, hey, you're good to go. Looks like it never happened.
Plus, shipping from overseas, you never know how it's going to arrive to you. You might as well be able to see the finished result there.
No, and that's the thing. A lot of those times, I mean, a bike is small. That's something that the owner can say. You can say, hey, sit down right there. You know, watch me work really quick. You know, use your compound, use the correct pad, add a little last step protectant on it. And you'd be surprised what you can take out. And especially after what we learned from the Jason Kilmer Clinic and learning how to wet sand, I mean, a lot of that can apply to motorcycles as well, with taking out certain scratches and scuffs and things on tanks, because...
Well, and I used to do that when I detail bikes. I'd pull bags, I'd pull fairings, I'd take, you know, rear fenders off, I'd take side pans off. I'd take things off the bike because it was much easier for me to polish it. And then I'd assemble everything back together because I could do a better job. And it was funny because people would go, you know, they'd call and they go, hey, how much is your motorcycle detail? And I'd explain it to them. And they're like, well, you did my car and it was this much. I'm like, it's a little more intricate and a little more time consuming on the bike, because on that type of bike, I remove this, and this when I detail. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah, go ahead.
If you don't want me to do that, maybe you don't want me be the one
right,
to
but once you
but
once I explained everything I was going to be doing and why it was a different detail than normal.
Education, once again, goes a long way.
Well, and just being truthful. You know, this is why I'm going to do this. Then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, then go for it.
Makes sense.
Don't let me stop you, you know. But that was the key, you know, because a lot of guys hey, $150, I'm going to clean your bike. I was like, okay, man. Yeah. Good luck with that. Like, it's, you know.
That's when you end up with the strip chain.
And you get guys, back then, you got guys using rotaries. Not using extensions, not using smaller pads. I mean, they're literally trying to rotary out certain spots.
It's like a car
with a 7-inch pad. And they're like, I couldn't get in between your bags there. But I accidentally burned that spot, and I accidentally scuffed your bag, and I accidentally did this or whatever.
Turns out I actually made it worse.
Or I got wool stuck in your fairing, or, you know, I can't get that out. I'd have to unbolt all that to get that. Well, why didn't you just unbolt that in the first place, take it off, set it down, work on it on a workbench or something, and then put it all back together, and it's all nice and clean. It's all put back, you know.
And that's when you look and go,
I couldn't get that motor because there's all these fairings around it. So the motor's super dusty and dirty, but the bike's all shiny and waxed. Just take it off so you can wash the whole thing, you know. So little things go a long way, and customers don't mind paying for it when you explain why you're doing it. This is what I'm doing. I'm charging you an extra $200 because I'm going to have 4 hours of just, you know, labor, basically, taking it apart and putting it back together.
But you can
trust that $200 of that, and then I'll charge you $250 or $300 for a detail. It's like, oh, okay. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make sure the chain's lubed, and I'm going to make sure this is done, and I'm going to, okay.
And that's peace of mind. So,
but go down to the dude down the street for $100 and get your bike detailed.
It's totally different when you actually, really take your time, and again, the amount of hours. You're right.
Well, and I've got to say, Anthony's bike is quite possibly the most beautiful bike I've ever seen. One, because he rides the hell out of it. Yeah. You do. You ride it a lot, but it is one of the most immaculate, well cared for bikes I've ever seen. And I said that the first time I saw your bike. I was like, holy crap, look at this thing.
You can barely see it behind the group on Detox there.
Yeah.
There's the video where it was on there. But no, and that's the thing. I mean, when I got the bike, it was in decent condition, but I mean, that was one of those things where I'm like, dude, I really want to do a nitty gritty detail on this and get every single little nook and cranny, and it makes a big difference. Especially for anybody, if you're selling a bike, right? And let's just say you have a 10-year-old bike that it's been sitting in the dust, it's been ridden on, it's got scratches and micro-marring all over the bike because, believe it or not, bikes get touched a lot more than cars because hands are on the tank.
Their zippers rubbing on the
jackets,
tank.
backpacks, saddlebags, everything gets rubbed up on things. So after a while, a bike can look really dingy. And if you were to go to sell the bike, right, as is, you'll get some money for it. But if you were to put a couple $100 into a proper detail or at least get a couple things polished on it, it can make all the difference in the world. And then especially when it comes to buying a bike, right? If you go into the mindset knowing that you have certain skills to detail this bike, or somebody that knows how to properly restore this, you can go pick up a bike, get it for an awesome deal, right? And know that there's a lot of potential here, and you can turn that into a brand new bike. I mean, because we have so many awesome products out there nowadays. I mean, for all of your control, all of your clamshells and controls and everything that's like a flat black, hit it with solution finish. It's going to be back to new. If all the painted areas, hit it with a polish, hit it with a wax, take the fairings off, use power clean, use proper chain degreaser, and use things like that to get in there. Detail brushes, all sorts of cool little tips and tricks to make that bike look and feel like a new bike, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
All right, guys. Yeah. I think
that sums it up.
That was a pretty good little wrap up there.
For winning it, I felt like we actually
talked about some cool stuff.
Really did something with it. So, no, very cool, guys. Well, as always, you guys, if you're watching, you're probably on YouTube at the Rag Company channel. If you're just listening, you may be on iTunes or shoutengine.com at the Rag Company podcast. So, as always, please leave a review if you haven't already on iTunes, and leave a comment if you're on YouTube.
So and also, if you're not following us on Instagram, please follow us on Instagram, ragcompany.com, or just the Rag Company on Instagram. Just look for us. We do have sister companies that are Rag Company Europe, Rag Company Russia. Feel free to add them as well. But if you're looking to follow us and what we do day to day here in the store, the Rag Company is the Instagram handle that you want. You can follow me at Rag Company Levi.
And I'm Great Dane Films, GR8.
And then Anthony is
I don't have an Instagram.
All Day Anthony with an underscore at the end. Make sure you do the underscore, otherwise it doesn't find it. And now he's super embarrassed. Give him a follow.
Time to end this. All right,
guys. All right. So we just had to get that out there. Anyway, guys.
Thank
you so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next one.
See ya.
Sounds good.